Quebecois metal noir is a thing. That is black metal from Quebec, Canada, the French-speaking portion of that big-ass country in, northern side of United States of America. However, Quebec is not only, of course, restricted to black metal. There are bands that come from other corners of metal, sometimes extreme, sometimes not. And this one, Atramentus, is on the verge of being extreme. Extreme in the sense that it's funeral doom, which is kind of a extreme when it comes to slow playing, well, you get the idea. Anyway, this one is, what I've been informed, is an album that has been recorded years and years ago. Well, not recorded, but written. And later on the band decided to, let's go with it. And it took quite a while. Now, interestingly enough, this one has only 3 songs, yet the booklet is as thick as it could feature like 20 crime songs with lyrics. Anyhow, here is a $20 spin release by Atramentus, and this one's called Stygian. I don't know how it's pronounced. Forgive me for about that. Anyway, here you have the album inlay. 3 lengthy names. I'm not going to even try to pronounce all these Stgyian 1, 2, and 3. The thing here is, one in the middle is only almost 5 minutes long, whereas the first one is more than 16 minutes, and the last one over 23 minutes. So, yes, this is a tough cookie to track, with almost 3/4 of an hour. That is almost 45 minutes, with 3 tracks included. So what you can pretty much judge from that is that they're lengthy as hell. The band is in no hurry to go any place. So instead they are building the atmosphere slowly, part by part. And that is what is called funeral doom. Tempo, very, very slow. Now, creating funeral doom and making that very, very interesting is a hard task. Even harder than creating good music with, normal or fast tempo. Because you really have to get the audience with you, even though you're playing like you're some old retarded escaping from a funeral home and then crawling like a snail. That is the rough translation of the speed at hand here. Anyway, some funeral doom bands and releases are able to do that. I mean, they just have the magic that is right there to just, go with this low tempo and create those wonderful atmospheres. And then you're suddenly like drawn into this weird plane of existence, and you're just floating around in this endless space of stars where you just feel you're gonna die of asphyxiation while staring at the stars, and your last memory before you die is actually, those tiny little spots of light. What this has to do with music with the band, I don't know, but there is some certain element that is going on with funeral doom. Now the downside is when you don't have those catchy riffs, memorable hit riffs, or chorus parts, or guitar leads and solos, which then feel like captivating elements, is that you might be just like, oh, is this snooze fest over already? You get the idea. Now, I know I'm not the major target audience for this kind of music because I am kind of hard on so many funeral or doom metal albums in the first place because I really need more energy to go with. Now, there are bands which I just happen to like even though they're slow tempo and doing exactly the same genre. So what could be that Atramentus is doing to convince me to praise their album? Well, I really can't do it, not being honest anyway, except for a couple of parts which I'm gonna mention a little bit later. Now, this album made of 3 tracks is an interesting case because most of all it feels it's going on the background and nothing really catchy is happening, nothing really memorable, but it's creating this kind of a dark, almost sad place where you just kind of feel dwelling in. Even if you're not having hangover or broken up with your girlfriend who you love so much, you're just dying to listen to this kind of darkness where nothing is really happening. You just hear those slow-paced drums going on and you're just like, okay, this is how I'm gonna die and all that stuff. But eventually, because you're not going to die, you're like, hey, should something actually happen, because it's not like I can stand this any longer. And when you're about to get bored, the band actually figures out, okay, we need to captivate this Jerry guy also. So during the last few minutes with the Stygian 3 track, the band actually starts to, pace up in a very cool way. And then they add these Pink Floyd-ish kind of guitar leads and solos, which are like, hey, something really is bound to happen. And suddenly the band is actually doing sort of a drum blasting, and it's like, hey, this was not supposed to happen with Funeral Doom album. So my point here is, the band actually knows the dynamics, but they're using it so scarcely that it also almost bores the shit out of you. Well, me anyway. So while I kind of liked what the band is able to do, I think they're reaching to their potential way too rarely. So for me, it's kind of split between this snooze fest and very enjoyable, almost like progressive keyboard-infused Funeral Doom / something combo. So I like it, some parts a lot, but most parts I'm a little bit like, yeah, something more needs to happen. You really can't have playing this riff that is anything but memorable for 11 minutes or so. I don't know, this is for Funeral Doom fanatics, but even with that, I must say there's not too much that makes this album stand out from the rest. Because it's a genre that really likes to, repeat the patterns and create more this atmosphere which is not so riff driven. And like with so many of us know, be it black metal, be it death metal, be it, I don't know, traditional heavy metal, not to mention thrash metal and, black metal and all that stuff. Riffs are the ones that make good songs. They make you separate from the rest. So where is Atramentus at the moment? On the verge of being good and mediocre. I think it resides on the plus side, but not too much. With these weird words and thoughts, give it a listen and figure out for yourself if this is your cup of tea or not. You have been warned. Take care, my friends, and see the link in the description box. Bye bye.